Ravens have announced that they have hired Declan Doyle as their OC. He was previously the OC under Ben Johnson in Chicago. We thought he was going back. Nope, he's headed to Baltimore. And yesterday, they introduced head coach Jesse Minter, who called Lamar the best player in the league and talked about the team's ultimate goal. Take a listen.
Lamar and I have had multiple conversations. It's been great. It's been great to get to know him. I think relationships take time. And so you don't become the head coach of the Ravens and expect to have a deep relationship with anybody. I just look forward to connecting with him, helping him become the best version of himself, creating a team identity that allows him to thrive, which he's already, proven to be an elite, one of the best player in the National Football League, and put a team around him that allows him to reach that ultimate goal of bringing a Super Bowl back to Baltimore.
I like that. All right. Brew, do you think the Ravens are closer now to winning a Super Bowl?
Well, look, they were 8-9 and out of the playoffs. So, yeah, I think they're closer than that for sure. But I would say yes because, it seems like John Harbaugh's voice had gone stale. So I think the players, and Lamar in particular, will be more energized by a new hire. But I think the defense, too. Lamar's struggles and injuries this year kind of took our eye off the defense. Remember how bad that defense was early on, and even a year ago as well. And then they came on, got strong. But in their 2 games with Pittsburgh, they gave up more than 26 points and 27 points.
Yep.
Against an offense that was not very good. So that defense was up and down at best. Yep. Minter was great with the Chargers. His first year, he took them from 24th in the league defensively to 1st in the league in scoring defense. So I expect him to kind of bring back more consistency to the defense, which obviously will help Lamar. And here's the other reason they're closer. Kansas City is not, presumably, what it used to be. Now, maybe they'll come back and, they'll get back on the horse and next year be great. But that veil, that veil of invincibility is gone.
They've got to rebuild.
Right?
Yes.
It's gone. And so there's no longer this empire that nobody can beat right there in your conference. The Bills are in the same position as the Ravens, rebuilding and all, or, retooling with a new coach. And then the Denvers, the Patriots, the Patriots have a quarterback, but Denver, the Chargers, the Houston, Jacksonville, they don't have a quarterback that's going to really put fear in you.
Wow.
So I mean, do they? Now, I'll give you with Drake, but I'm just saying.
Jacksonville probably the way the season ended.
But you've got to.
Yeah, I mean, he's not
come
yet
back
where
and
you
prove it.
Right.
And you just are dismissing Cincinnati because you think their defense stinks.
Yeah, I'm not saying these are all good teams, but that one it was Mahomes and Chiefs. And we'll see what they are, But that's gone, and so he should feel like it's tough because you do have more competition.
Yes.
I'll give you that.
So go ahead, Greg.
Look, I don't think they're closer. I don't think they're closer because, and you talk about Patrick Mahomes and that veil of invincibility, but I still think that looms over Lamar, your most important player.
Seeing them miss the playoffs, you think it looms over?
Well, you missed the playoffs.
And they did beat them this year.
Exactly. And I was going to say, and they beat them.
That's when that invincibility was still there at that point.
Okay. Well,
I mean you thought, we all thought the Chiefs were the Chiefs at that point.
So for me, I think there's optimism, though, when you look at the hire, the excitement that probably comes with it. I like Declan Doyle, knowing that he was in a system where you had primarily 2 good tight ends that you featured in Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet. You have that with Isaiah Likely and Andrews. Obviously, Lamar loves both of those targets. So there's some carryover there that I think that they'll really lean into. But this is all about Lamar. This is all about, is he able and capable of taking the next step? We know how fantastic he is. We know he's an MVP 2-time. We know all of these things. What we don't know is if he's capable of being what's necessary and needed when it matters most. When his team needs him, can he stay available and healthy? And then if he is available and healthy, will he deliver? We know in the regular season he's done that, But when the games really matter in the postseason, he just seemingly hasn't been able to do that. And we can blame whoever we want. I don't think he has all the blame on his shoulders, but he definitely takes majority of it.
KW.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Consistency.
Thanks. You know how I don't love super skinny football players?
Oh my! Don't say something
I
about
know
the
this
coach.
take. He's gonna love.
He
it.
looks like Mike McDaniel.
Oh no, gosh.
Yeah, let's hear it.
guys.
Sorry, but it's a good take. We love your.
You don't
neck
even know what
takes.
I'm gonna say here. Declan Doyle's 29.
29.
He's 29.
That's might be. I can't tell.
A corollary of the
that's
too
young.
skinny take might be too young, so here is my concern.
McVay was what, 32?
Say it again.
As a head coach, McVay. Sean
McVay, right? No, and
As a head coach.
McVay's been a head coach for damn near a decade, and
Just
still,
turned
whenever they show the youngest head coaches in the NFL, he's still on the list.
29.
So,
good for him.
Yeah, absolutely. But same age as Lamar. Jesse Minter's first-time head coach. Typically, and we'll see who they hire as D coordinator. They're one of the teams looking at Jim Leonard, but he also hasn't been a head coach before. Usually when you have the young first-time head coach, you then have, do what
Former head coach.
Ben Johnson did with Dennis Allen as his DC. And so I don't know what's going to happen there. But consider, for a team that the players have dealt with game management issues and blown leads, I'm a little anxious about this little of experience being at the forefront of the coaching
Kyle
staff.
Van Noy can't be the oldest person in the building.
No, for real. And then when you look at the history of, there have only been 5 rookie head coaches to make the Super Bowl. 2 of them have won, and we can show you what they are. And it's unique circumstances for all of them. So Jim Caldwell took over the Colts that had won 12 in a row 6 years straight, had won 12 or more 6 years straight, and Tony Dungy retired. Like, they didn't fire the coach. Bill Callahan took over the Raiders because the Raiders traded John Gruden for 2 firsts and 2 seconds, which is still a wild, trade. That's what happened. And then, so that's a unique circumstance. Bill Walsh retired. Red Miller is, I guess, the one instance. And then I just have to get this in there. That 1970 Colts team was so good, their starting quarterback and backup quarterback were league MVPs. It was Johnny Unitas and Earl Morrall, who were both multi-time All-Pros and multi-time MVPs. So I'm not saying that team coached itself and good for Don McCafferty. Point is, it's very, very difficult, not for first year with a team, but first time ever head coach. Yeah. And this applies obviously to Buffalo too. But this feels tenuous for me. And when you hire an OC that's 29, a DC that's as young and I think energetic as Jesse Minter, that does feel like, man, I think these are good hires, especially because we can long-term and build and all of it. And they are the ultimate SBOB team. So that would be my concern.
I'd like to have, like, when you see young NBA coaches end up hiring, Jeff Van Gundy is behind the second level.
Yes.
Even Vrabel, I think we've got Doug Marrone is on the staff.
They should bring a
former head coaches.
Yeah. Maybe the DC will be.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen,
he's going to call plays, he said.
That's the thing.
No, I get that, but that's why you would have a former
like an
head
associate
coach.
head coach.
Yeah, so you can bounce things off.
Seattle has been putting points on the board. Darnold and special teams. 41 points in their opening game, 31 last week. Patriots defense through 3 games have given up a total of 26 points. And while I was initially worried the Patriots had feasted on the Brady Cooks of the world, the defense has actually gotten better in the playoffs. Here's Milton Williams. Take a listen.
It don't matter who they got, what they run, what's the scheme. If we do what we do up front, I always put the game on us. Be able to control the line of scrimmage. It's our job to get back there, speed them up, get them off the spot, try to take advantage and try to make them put the ball in harm's way.
You've been pretty vocal about the fact that people have been counting you guys out. Do you welcome the fact that it's been talked about since both games ended on Sunday?
My whole life, people been counting me out.
Heck yeah. Patriots defense. Remember, I was like, in the regular season, we don't really get to the quarterback.
Right.
Hello, turned it up a notch. Doubled our sacks. almost doubled QB hits and doubled the takeaways, almost tripled the takeaways. So, is the Patriots' defense being overlooked? Drew, you're a non-believer. Oh,
No, they are.
Thank you.
If I was a Patriots defender, I would be ticked off. All I'm hearing about is Houston and Denver and Seattle.
This is where I like.
And I'm like, those teams are, for the most part, giving up twice as many points a game as we are in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Right? I would be upset. They are being overlooked. And it's because I think of Drake's he had a great year. He's an MVP candidate, so everybody's focused on him. The quarterbacks they faced in the playoffs obviously stood them, but Herbert kind of he can't get it done in the playoffs.
I heard he's top 5 all year.
Well, yeah,
that part's fair. No, a lot of people like Herbert. Like that part, I don't mean to interrupt you, Brew. You are correct in your frustration that Herbert and C.J. Stroud only were talked about as if, well, obviously they were going to be terrible after they were terrible. Like that, it would just
Stroud, you said it a few days ago. The fact that he played poorly in his first playoff game, too, kind of, he's really just not where he used to be right now.
But he came into that game with a winning record in the playoffs, and then
he had been pretty good before that. But bottom line is yes, I do think they're being overlooked, and that could work for you because, like I said, I'd be highly upset if I'm on that defense.
Yeah, look, I thought they were not getting enough credit as well. It's hard though because rightfully so, they weren't the better defenses that we were focusing on in these matchups. When we look at the Chargers to the Pats, it was like, well, the Chargers got a top 5 defense. You look at, obviously, Houston. Well, that's the defense we've been talking about all season long. Denver defense we've been talking about all season long. Seattle, we've definitely been talking about them all season long. So naturally, if one team is driven by that side of the ball, which all of those teams were, and offensively, you had the better quarterback and you were driven by that all season, you're going to be overlooked naturally. And it's not any shot to them. It's just how we view that team in the regular season was Drake May.
Wow. Hold on. So there you go. The answer to this question is yes, and it's not directly your fault, but you represent the people whose fault it is. It is because the loudest and most vocal and angriest, you weren't angry, Patriots fans all year made the story of their season, Drake May should be the MVP because he's carrying us. And because, when all of the narrative thrust behind the team, there were you guys were fighting a 2-front war. One was, don't look at the schedule. Who cares? Since when does that matter? Which I think is fair. And the other one was, our quarterback's been the best quarterback in football. Here's his pressure numbers. Here's his EPA. Here's his deep passes. Those were, that was the Patriots story were those two things. Fighting off the schedule stuff, promoting Drake May. And so the defense got overlooked.
Yeah.
And now my only incredulousness is now many of those same people who all year long were trying to explain how Drake May had carried this team to 14 wins are now saying, we've had an awesome defense all along and no one will give us credit for it.
No, I don't think we actually did have an awesome. I think the defense has risen to another level in the playoffs. And just how you see great players take their game to another level, this defense has gone to another level. I don't think there's one Patriots fan or expert that was like, you know what? This defense, look at this graphic. I don't know if you have it, Dust. Allowed under 25 most games entering the Super Bowl. You love that Chiefs defense. Remember you were saying, gee, that's the quiet story. The 2000 Ravens, I didn't think we were on par with them. But
Steel Curtain Steelers.
Steel Curtain, we don't even have a nickname.
Yeah.
So, look, I didn't think we were that good, but the way they've been playing and the pressure numbers are crazy, and once you start to get pressure against skittish quarterbacks, good things happen. And I think we're playing Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl, so.
I thought you liked Sam Darnold.
I do like Sam.
14 wins, 4,000.
I like
Not
him.
for this game.
You didn't sound like you like him.
I like him.
Can't toe the line on this one.
I'm just saying Super Bowls are strange. Former Ravens OC Todd Monken takes over in Cleveland. It seems like he's a fan of Shedeur. Listen to this interaction.
Oh, young man. What's up? Good to see you, bro. How you doing? Welcome back to the States.
How we doing, man?
Good.
Then we tried to draft your It's all worked out.
Yeah.
You remember that, right?
Yeah, that's what I was about to tell you.
Someday we'll get a chance to talk about that.
Very interesting. Brew, your reaction.
Look, I think this means that Shedeur will get a fair shot. I don't think he got a fair shot. Now, once he started playing, they went by with him, but it just felt like they were against him to some degree, or Stefanski, and even Barry. You know, it just from day one it felt like they didn't believe in him and want him. And I give him credit for the way he handled himself, because that has to be tough when you kind of feel like they don't want you to succeed, or they don't believe in you. And he went out there and handled himself well. So I think he will get I think Monken will give him every shot to be successful. The offense will probably be somewhat based around his skill set. He will, I imagine, be number one on the depth chart entering training camp, no matter who they bring in, if they bring in anybody else. So I think he'll get every shot to do it. And then we'll see, is he good enough? I mean, Monken feels like an uninspired hiring, but that doesn't mean he won't be a good coach.
Listen, quarterbacks have played well.
He's had success.
Lamar played the best football of his career under him.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I think it's good for Shedeur.
I think it's refreshing, and I know Shedeur is probably like, man, okay, here we go. I get my shot. To all your points you made, but we've seen areas of where he struggled with holding the ball a little too long. Like Lamar has some of those same issues at times that we've seen, but we've seen the development of him under Todd Monken become a better passer, all those things. But the most important and most impressive thing for me, just watching that entire dynamic, is the fact that the season has been over for the Cleveland Browns since January 4th. That man is still there.
Yeah.
I think he said he came back for that. Like, I thought that's what he said, but go ahead. He's there to see the new head coach.
Just to see how they're treating him right now, and how he's walking around the building as if this is my job, this is mine to lose. Like, he's taking down that rearview mirror and he doesn't care who's behind him.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the vibe that I see and I'm getting. And so I believe that he's going to have every chance to be the starter in Cleveland.
Yeah, poor Dylan Gabriel, right?
Right.
I mean,
real talk.
The Browns posted that, right?
They did.
That's their Pro Bowl quarterback.
Shout out to Gianna, but I never know if what the social media team is posting is indicative of what.
That's fair, but I disagree with Brew that Shedeur didn't get a fair shot. I think he got as fair of a shot as most fifth-round quarterbacks get, if not more than that. However, I don't disagree with Brew that the new head coach sure seems to be a bigger Shedeur Sanders advocate than the previous head coach, because the new head coach's team in Baltimore, we know, wanted to draft Shedeur. Yeah. And while the Browns did draft Shedeur, I don't know that the head coach, Stefanski, wanted that.
Can I stop you there for a second? That hit my radar. It's like, we tried to draft you, but you did not want to come
to be a backup.
I don't think you can blame him for not.
I'm not blaming him at all, but I'm saying we tried to draft you and you told us not to.
Correct.
That was the reporting.
Right, and that to me confirms the reporting.
Right. And he's like, we'll get into it later.
Yeah, and so listen, however,
I want to hear you.
Go.
No, that was it.
When you say something negative,
I don't know. No, I don't know. That's why we do something. It's just.
I don't think it could be something negative. I don't think a coach would look at a guy like saying, Lamar Jackson's going to be there for the next 10 years. Right.
At the same time, we tried to draft you, and if we were on the team, you would have had an opportunity to play this year.
Yeah.
That wasn't known.
Yeah, but hold on. But at this point,
of course not. You're a backup, but you weren't drafted for a starter in Cleveland either.
Hold on.
And I have an issue with it, but I'm just saying it was a unique way to talk.
It was, but it was to me that's water under the bridge. I am not as convinced as Brew that he's just QB1 going into the. I think they will.
I think he has to play well once. You think at training camp?
I think they're going to bring in a veteran. I don't know.
Okay, but you think at train I get it. If it's an open competition, somebody will be named number one. Right, and I think it'll be Shedeur.
It depends.
So I think he's in a driving seat to where he can lose the job, or he can just run away with the job. Yeah. But I think they bring somebody in, but it's like, okay, we're going to give you the fair shot.
If they bring in Jacoby Brissett, I don't even know if they could do that. But and he's like you said about Stidham and Bo Nix, he's a little better
than
than
they would go to
Shedeur.
Shedeur. But I'm also not convinced they won't use one of their first round picks. They have Jack's first round pick, which is in the 20s. They might draft a quarterback. Like I don't think Shedeur is locked in there. But what I'm saying is this is obviously a positive sign.
But they don't have a ton of money because the Deshaun's contract is still sitting there, right?
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.